So I'm going to start off just quickly reviewing what the different positions on the clock actually mean. So as we know, our shorter hand represents where the hour is and the longer hand represents where the minutes are. So on our clock we have 12 numbers and each jump of numbers represents 5 minutes and it also represents 1 hour. Okay? So if the minute hand is pointing at the o'clock position or the 12, you would say o'clock. So you can see here the hour hand is pointing at 4. If the minute hand is up there, it would be 4 o'clock. As we move around, we get to this position here. This is 15 minutes, so 5, 10, 15, but we say this as quarter past. So for example, quarter past 4. Then moving around again until we get to 6. That would be our halfway mark. So it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's 30 minutes, but we say half past if our minute hand is pointing at the half. Then going round again, we get to the 9, which is our 3/4. So how many minutes? We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So it's 45 minutes past the last hour and only 15 minutes until the next one. So because that is closer, we say that as being quarter to the next hour. So in this case, if the hour hand was after 4 and the minute hand was at the quarter to mark, we wouldn't say quarter to 4 because it's not before 4. We would say quarter to 5 because it is 15 minutes before 5. So we've got those ones, we've got our o'clock, we've got our quarter past, our half past, and our quarter to. But for the rest, we just use the numbers. So knowing that each jump represents 5 minutes, if the minute hand was here, it would be 5 past. Then 10 past, and then we've got quarter past, 20 past, 25 past, and then half past. After we get past halfway, it's actually closer to the next hour. So how we would read it is we would say 25 minutes to the next hour on the clock. So in this case, the next one would be 5. So if it was here, the minute hand was here, it would be 25 to 5. So then we go 20 to 5, quarter to 5, 10 to 5, and 5 to 5. So on this half of the clock, we would say the minutes and then the word past, the hour that's been. And on this side of the clock, we say how many minutes it is to the next hour. So that's just a little bit of a reminder of how we say the time while reading an analog clock.
Okay, so I'm going to talk through your next activity. Now, you all should have made a clock yesterday that looks something like this. Just for this activity, I'm going to use one of these clocks just because it's really tricky to film and move the clock at the same time, and this one's a bit easier. But you just use your own clock that you made. So on your activity list for your group, you will have a list of times. And what I would like you to do is work your way through the times, and I want you to then show them on your clock that you have made. So the first one that I've got here is 5:20. In digital time, we would say that is 20 past 5. And now let's look at how we would put it on our analog clock. So we know it's after 5 o'clock, so we'll start off with putting our hour hand after 5. Now if it's 20 past, we know it's not quite towards 6, it's not close to 6 yet, but it isn't quite just 5 o'clock. So we see I've put it just slightly past the 5 to show that that's about 20 minutes past on the hour hand. And then my minute hand is currently sitting at 5:10 past. So I'm going to move it around. That would be quarter past and that would be 20 past. So you can see now that I've managed to make 5:20 or 20 past 5 on my analog clock. Let's look at the next one. We've got 8 o'clock. So that's bang on the hour, or hour. And again, so I'll put my hour hand there and my minute hand on the o'clock. So you can see 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. and it's 8 o'clock on our analog clock as well. So the next one is a time that is written in words. It's sitting at quarter past 6. So we know the hour is after 6 because it's quarter past 6. So let's do that first. So it's not bang on 6 because we know it's quarter past. It's a little bit, about quarter of the way between the 6 and the 7 here. At the minute we're sitting on a clock, we know to be 1/4 it needs to be at the 3. Okie doke. So you can see now I've got a 6:15. So my final time that I've got on my list is 12 minutes past 7. Okay, so this clock's quite handy because it's actually got little minutes on it, but yours will not have that, but that's absolutely fine. We can work with it. So again, we know it's just after 7. It's 12 minutes past 7. So we'll put our hour hand just after 7, not too far. It's only 12 minutes. And then we will move this. So you can see it's currently sitting at 10 past. Now I'm just going to move it up to make it 12. So that's 2 more minutes. So we're sitting at 12 minutes past 7. Now I'm just going to do this on my clock that I made yesterday, just to show you how you can do that without having the minutes laid out on your clock. So I'm going to place my hour hand just after 7, just like that, okay? And then we know that the 2 would represent 10 past. So in here, this little space needs to represent 5 minutes. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but we know that we're not quite halfway between 10 and 1/4. We're just before that. So just before halfway, I'm going to place my minute hand. This is very tricky to do with while filming, guys. I apologise. But you can see there that if we compare the 2 clocks, they're both sitting at 12 minutes past 7.